I think when we talked about it, we talked about any AI model or any AI brain, data is actually very, very important. So when we are feeding it with only one kind of data, I mean, we know that happened in facial recognition when we came through, people with darker complexion, which includes a lot of Asians and Black people. It was doing a wrong recognition, saying you're not recognized right? So I do think the data bias is going to creep in. However, when you talk about large language models, it has ingested a lot of content across the board from the entire internet. Obviously, the Western world has more corpus than the Asian, but I also think the Asian content is not small. It's not like that small. It has enough content. In fact, it is better than when corporates have done their own way of picking the data and training a model, versus when you ingest everything, then you have increased the sample size large enough, which is good enough. But at the same time, there are communities where their voices are not well represented, then you're going to see the bias. Or if there are hate speeches against a community that was so amplified in the internet for whatever the reason, or in the corpus of data that particular model has ingested for whatever the reason, then you're going to see the bias. At the end of the day, the data you feed is how the model is going to act. And that's one of the reasons it's very important. If you're using a model in the business, you need to have a very good pre-processor and post-processor against the model. In other words, what do you allow people to ask the model or ask your AI? And what are you going to tell if the AI is saying something wrong, how you're linting or how you're making sure the responses are appropriate, that you have a filtering mechanism against it, because it's the reputation of your business, and you really need to focus on both pre-processor and post-processor. Don't use the model just as it is. That's a very dangerous proposition.